Everyone ready? Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Mark Techmeyer, Director of Public Affairs for the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office for the Quarry Fire update. Late yesterday afternoon, we were very excited to announce that we opened up Deer Creek Mesa and Kester neighborhoods. By opening up, I mean that we took them from a mandatory evacuation down to a pre-evacuation classification. So people were able to go back home last night after 5 o'clock in those two neighborhoods. That's about a little bit over 200 of the homes of the 575 homes that we initially did a mandatory evacuation on. To get back in those neighborhoods, the folks that live there need a reentry badge, and that badging process was yesterday and last night and will continue today at the evacuation center at Dakota Ridge High School. So today from 10 to 3, folks can go get their badges. We did have a lot of people go through the process yesterday, so we're hoping to wrap that up and make sure everyone that is going to be going back in when the other neighborhoods also drop down to pre-evac stage will have their badge. If they don't have their badge, they're not going to get in. I need to be clear about that. People who live in Deer Creek Mesa and in Kester, if they just show up today with their driver's license, that's not going to work. They have to have the badge, and they can get that from the evac center. The reason for that is control of who's going in and out, because even though we're opening it back up for them to go in, it's still pre-evac stage, and we can't have deputies at our traffic control points going into their car, searching their database on their computer for the license and the street address, confirming that it's not safe. This way, the resident will be able to show their badge, deputy will move their cone, and they'll be able to drive in. We're going to hold that for at least several days. And it's just to really let people get back in. Some had trailers and campers they moved out, large animals. We got to keep traffic down to a minimum because we still have fire trucks and a ton of fire crews working that area, and they will be for some time. I want to talk about the Stage 2 fire ban that the Stage 2 fire ban that Sheriff Reggie Marinelli signed in a couple of days ago. This is a Stage 2 fire ban. That means no fires. The way to understand it is if you can turn it on and turn it off, you can have it. So therefore, a propane grill, that's fine. But campfires are not allowed. And we really need your help in getting this message out. We had several campfires, not in this fire area last night, but several campfires last night that had to be addressed up in Evergreen that people just didn't understand and didn't know that we were in a fire ban. So any help we can get in cooperation with that, we appreciate it. Doing really good on the fire. We still have the northwest area that we've been talking about that no boots can go in because it's so steep. We are doing burning on that, intentional burning that we are doing. We did it up to 1 o'clock this morning last night. The reason they do that at night sometimes is the cooler temperatures. It's a control factor and it's easier. We'll be doing that again this afternoon and into the evening tonight. So we're feeling really good about where we're at, guys. I don't have an increased number on acreage. I know we burned quite a bit last night, but again, it was in an open space. But we are at 20% containment as of late yesterday afternoon, and I expect that number to go up today. We will have helicopter support today with the airdrops. The only other thing I have is for these pressers we've been doing twice a day. We'll continue that today. We'll have our 4:30, and then moving forward tomorrow, we'll be moving to one per day as we start to wrap our arms around this, and location and time to be announced later today. What questions do you have?
How's the arson investigation?
Arson investigation is still going on. Still can't talk about the details on it, but we're hitting it hard.
But in general, like when you guys are, not specifically to this case, but with arson investigation in general, how do you guys tackle those?
Well, Number one, just to be clear, so everyone understands, when we know this fire is human caused, that's number one. When a fire is human caused, criminally, it is an arson investigation. Whether it was an accident or whether it was intentional, it's an arson investigation. And throughout that investigation, they determined it was an accident or it was intentional, and then the penalties and the court process and all that go in line with that. As far as the details of how they go and determine an arson investigation, I would have to have an arson investigator explain that to you, because it gets very intense and technical. I do know one of the first things you have to do is determine point of origin, which we did early on, and we know where that fire started. So that's the key component where you start that investigation. We're using a lot of resources on that, not just with the Jeffco Sheriff's Office and firefighting and arson investigators, but also state resources. Like I've mentioned a couple of times, we have a canine arson dog who's trained in arson investigations, which is kind of fascinating to me. But we'll release information on it as it comes, and that we can release it when it's available.
Sheriff, what are concerns today with the extreme temperatures?
You know, we've been fighting it from day one on this. We've been in that 98 closing to 100-degree temperature. We've had firefighters suffering from heat exhaustion. Today, I think the high is 90, so that feels like a break from 98 to close to 100. But humidity's really low today. The last couple of days it's been higher. We're at like 16% relative humidity right now. Going to hit 90 degrees. Still going to be hot. They are in their uniforms, their gear doesn't breathe. They're carrying heavy packs, chainsaws, tools up and down the mountain. It's tough.
You guys are expecting air support again today, you said?
We are.
Okay. Did you give an exact acreage?
We were at 472 yesterday. I don't have the update from the burn they did last night, but once again, it was in open space. So,
With the 200 homes and folks returning, what kind of reaction are you getting from these families?
what we did, the way we have it planned out throughout the day, we do a community meeting face-to-face at the evac center right after this morning presser and right after the afternoon presser. So I was able to announce that we're opening these back up at 4:30, and then we met with them at 5. And a lot of them had already seen your tweets and et cetera, but they were thrilled, you know, cheers and tears.
What do people need if they're going to get their temporary badge to get in and out?
You need to have proof of ID of showing who you are and your address. We don't need extensive. A driver's license is fine.
We talked a lot yesterday about don't fly your drones. It's impacting what you guys are doing. Has that been an issue, or have you found the person who was flying the drone?
We haven't found that person yet that was doing that, and we have not seen it since we started pushing out through you guys, through the media, don't do that. We haven't had any other incidents. So just to reiterate, someone privately flying their drone over this active fire, if that happens, we have to park the helicopters. They cannot fly. So you are greatly impeding the firefighting process if you do that.
We saw several bikers coming through here not knowing that they couldn't go this way. Is that still an issue?
It is. This is heavy cycling area, and down in Deer Creek Canyon, heavy cycling area. I think they're starting to understand and know now. We're seeing fewer and far between, but we did have 3 cyclists come up this morning and didn't realize they could get through, and they'll just have to take another ride today.
We've talked a lot about kind of the wildlife that these firefighters are seeing out there. We're seeing quite a bit of deer here in the neighborhood. Do you know if that's mostly active like that, or a lot of these deer coming from their habitats because of the fire?
This area is known for deer and elk coming through. It's part of the beauty of we are currently in the King Carroll Valley. It's part of the beauty of living here. In the fire zone, same thing. Of course, that fire pushed wildlife out. We've talked about the rattlesnake issue, and we've had bears trailing some of the firefighters, and it seems more out of curiosity than anything else. They're not charging or being aggressive. Had a mountain lion doing the same thing yesterday, but there's been no interactions, no nothing to be concerned about for the firefighter safety at this point.
And just confirm at this point, no structures have been.
We have not had a structure loss. We have still not had a flame closer than a quarter mile to a home. So we're really proud of that work.
Talk a little bit about the burning you guys did overnight and happening today, just to reiterate that this is something you guys have control over.
We do. We have a bulldozer line and a hand dug line on that western corner of this burn area, or this area that we need to contain. That's all open space. Hasn't been mitigated in a long time. It's a lot of fuel for a fire. So it's very steep, and we've talked about we can't get boots on the ground in there to fight that way. But fire climbs up. So if you started burning that towards the bottom, it could rush and get out of control towards the top. So they normally will start burning towards the top or the side and work their way down. And that's the process that they're going through last night up to about 1 o'clock today, and tonight they'll be doing the same thing. Now, talk about weather. We've had zero moisture, and today is a 17% chance. Tomorrow is like a 47-48% chance of rain. So we need to get done today and tonight. The firefighters need to get done what they know that they need to burn out of there as much as they can, because tomorrow, if we do get this wetting rain, it could hamper our efforts at burning what we need to burn. So anyway, we're grateful for the rain to set this all down. It's just a dance with Mother Nature right now.
Sheriff, we knew that Deer Creek Canyon Road was a point of contention with lifting some of those evacuation areas. Are you feeling better about protecting that road today?
We felt really good about Deer Creek Canyon Road for a couple of days. We have a really strong line there. One of our biggest concerns when this fire started was to contain it south of Deer Creek Canyon Road. Anytime you have a fire, wildland fire, jump roads like that, it gets very challenging. And especially that would mean here that fire would be coming towards the King Carroll Valley then. So we'd have a couple of major incidents on our hand. But that was a focus right off the bat. Firefighters did an amazing job, got that line cut, got the burn done, and that's not a concern anymore.
I do want to reiterate, because I know the people that are going back that are able to go back into their homes is still in PreEvac status. Talk about what they need to be prepared for in case, something were to shift, the wind was to move, supposed to be 100 degrees.
Yeah, we've been instructing them. This is not done. It's not over. Stay in pre-evac mindset. Anything could happen, right? We could have a weird weather event and this whole thing changes then. We don't anticipate that, but it could. So we've instructed all of them, keep your go bag packed, be ready to go if you have to go again. Also told them that they are going to see a lot of smoke, and they're going to see possibly flames depending on where they live. And they are going to have firefighting apparatus and firefighters in their neighborhoods for at least another week or two. All depends on how this thing goes. So also you'll see smoke coming from the ground because the roots down under burn. So you're not going back to no activity in your neighborhood. It's going to be busy. And that's why we're really trying to restrict any traffic from people who do not live there to keep them out.
Is there anything that they can do to help firefighters to stay out of the way, like parking cars on specific streets, anything like that?
Just park in their drive, in their garages like they normally would. I think most people in that area don't park on the street, so it's not really an issue. We need to know common sense stuff, right? Don't go out on a bike ride, examining the neighborhoods, things like that. We can't have anything hampering the movement of the apparatus. Folks, we appreciate your support on this and getting the information out to citizens. We'll be back here at 4:30.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.